Next up is Jeff Smith from the class of 1981. Jeff Smith was a standout two-sport star at Bridgewater College who earned all conference recognition in both basketball and in track and field. As a junior at Bridgewater, he averaged 13 points and 6.8 assists per game, ranking second in assists in the ODAC. During his senior season, he was second in the ODAC in scoring with a 19-point-per-game average and was named to the All-ODAC first team. Smith was the college's first ever All-ODAC first-team pick in men's basketball. He's still the lone player in Bridgewater history to score more than 1,000 points while also handing out more than 300 assists. He finished his career with a total of 1,063 points and 342 assists, averaging 15.6 points per game and 5 assists per game. On the track, he earned all conference honors in the high hurdles, both indoor and outdoor track, the intermediate hurdles, and the long jump. He was a member of 2 ODAC championship teams. Following graduation, he remained active in local sports, coaching both AAU and high school basketball for more than 10 years. He's currently a senior vice president with First Bank in Harrisonburg, Virginia. He represents the very best of what it means to be a student athlete and someone committed to the success of those around him. It's now my pleasure to officially induct Jeff Smith from the class of 1981 into the Bridgewater College Athletic Hall of Fame.
Jim, you are a tough act to follow. I was going to try to do this without notes, and then I didn't think that was a very good idea. So this morning I told Pam that I was a little nervous because this is probably the last sports-related speech that I'll ever give, and I wanted it to be pretty good. And Pam looked at me and she goes, "It just needs to be pretty short." So I do want to thank President Bushman, Kurt Kendall, Gene Willey, Colby Horn, Phyllis Lambert, and Steve Cox, and the Hall of Fame committee for including me with this illustrious group and making this weekend so special for the inductees and our families. Again, congratulations to the other inductees. It's an honor to go into the hall with each of you. For me, going into the Hall of Fame is kind of like I feel like I've come full circle, because when I was a kid, I remember sneaking in to watch Bridgewater College basketball practice and sneaking in and watching Bridgewater College games and watching Bobby Stevens, Ron Cook, Tom Wright, those guys play, and kind of wondering in the back of my mind, is that something that, maybe I could do one day? And here I am. So I want to thank my high school coaches. Larry Pence is here today. 4 of my coaches are in the Bridgewater College Hall of Fame, 4 of my high school coaches. Jim Upperman was my JV coach. I told a little story to him a little bit earlier about how he scared me to death that year. Bobby Stevens, I was his assistant coach at TA after I graduated from Bridgewater. Of course, the famous Ray Heatwell, he was my football coach in high school. And then Larry Pence, who's probably been my biggest supporter in athletics my entire career. But it wasn't always like that. My sophomore and junior year, we kind of had a love-hate relationship. My senior year, we ended up having a great year, a special season, and ever since that time, we've been very tight. And I do want to thank Coach Pence for his support. I want to thank my college coaches, obviously, Coach Myers, Coach Whitelow, and Doc Jobson. I don't know if that was included, but I actually went to the University of Richmond for 2 years and played football there before I came. And when I left Richmond, I was kind of a mess. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. I had a couple other options, and I talked to Coach Myers in his office, and then I went and talked to Doc Jobson at his house, and they convinced me this would be a great place to go and that I could play 2 sports. And I think when I was at Richmond, I only played 1, and I especially missed basketball. But I'm really glad they convinced me to come here because it was a great experience. And I do miss both of those guys. I miss Doc and I miss Coach Myers. Coach Whitelow has been a family friend for pretty much my whole life, and I don't think you could find a finer gentleman on the face of the earth. I also want to thank my high school friends that showed up today. Tom Bocock, David Price, Sam Stickley, Mike Kuntz that I work with at the bank. So if you have anything bad to say, just wait till he leaves, please. I really was lucky to grow up in the neighborhood I did. Back in the 60s and 70s, there really wasn't a whole lot else to do besides watch the one channel on TV and no computer, no video games. So basically, we played sports year round. And we really had a heck of a neighborhood with a whole lot of good athletes. Kind of like what Jim was saying, we had 6 guys in our neighborhood playing the Virginia High School League game. I grew up in Dayton of about 1,000 people, so to have 6 people playing the Virginia High School League game is pretty amazing for a town of that size. But I think my other part that would surprise my friends is they're probably not surprised that I scored 1,000 points, but they're really surprised that I had 342 assists. Because I'm pretty sure if you counted high school, pickup, practice, I probably didn't make 300 passes in high school. But I hope I did become a better all-around player as I got older. I want to thank my Bridgewater teammates. Andy Agee's here. He's in the Bridgewater Hall of Fame. I appreciate him coming. Billy Pope, Darren Maynard, Andrew Keller, Lester Perry, Dan Fitzgerald, Curtis Airy, the late Jim Hodges, Whitey Fowler, just a bunch of great guys. And you know, if you score 1,000 points, somebody's passing you the ball. And if you have a lot of assists, somebody's finishing when you make them the pass. So I do want to thank all the teammates. I want to thank my family. My brother Larry, he was a three-sport star at TA, and he's the one that really got me into sports. I really appreciated that. My sister Barb was always there for me. I think growing up she was tired of being my little sister, but now I think I'm probably better known as her older brother. My Aunt Bonnie's here. We estimated she took 1 million pictures of us when we were playing sports, and at the time it was really annoying. But we really appreciate it, and some of those pictures are some of my most prized possessions, so thank you so much for that. My 2 kids, Stephen and Kelsey, and this has got to be a big surprise for them because Stephen has been able to beat me one-on-one for about 10 years in a row. I've never beaten my daughter in any kind of shooting competition, so by me going in the Hall of Fame, I hope it gives me some credibility at home. And of course, my wife Pam, who's been my rock. You know, I played 3 sports in high school and I played 3 sports in college. So that's a lot of seasons of sports that she's had to listen to stories about. And she only rolls her eyes about every other story now, so it's not as bad as it was. I want to dedicate this to my mom. Thanks.